Okay. So I'm just playing the video. This will be for next 2 minutes. Yeah. So hope you are able to see my screen and you're able to hear the system voices, right? So what is that we have seen? Is it some sort of fun images or is it something which is reality? So can I get some answers? Is it a reality? If it is a fun images, your answer is F. If it is reality, your answer is R. Or if you want, I'll play it once again. I think some people have joined. So I'll just play it once again. Observe carefully. Yeah. Just see, is it something fun images or it is something reality? Yeah. I'm just playing it once again. 1 minute. Yeah. So now, can I get some responses? Is it reality or is it something which is just for fun? All we are talking about these robots or these sort of artificial intelligence or these sort of machine learning boards. So my dear friends, I want to tell you, whenever we see some sort of fun images with respect to RPA, this is something which is not for fun. This is the things that are actually happening. So I think one slide which I really like in that particular series of images is like, your job cannot be taken away by these robots if your job is to work along with the robots, if your job is to create the robots. So with that intention, I would like to impart all your skills, or make you understand, or I would say visualize what exactly is RPA through this particular session. Well, so first of all, let me thank you, being a Sunday, being there, being an IPL live happening on the televisions. You're all here to attend this particular session to learn something new. Definitely, my promise is that by the end of this particular video, I mean, this session, which will be for max 1 hour, you will be able to visualize, you'll be able to see the demos, how the bots are working, how the bots are able to uh, do the things by using their own intelligence, which we'll be calling it as artificial intelligence. In fact, I have some 2 demos as well. Each demo will be for 3 to 4 minutes. I'll explain you what is happening in that demo, and you will be amazed to see that bots into action. Well, so with that, we are starting into the session. So I'll give you my introduction in the middle of this particular session. So first thing, let me tell you the agenda for today's discussion. So the discussion will be on 4 points, or I would say 4 segments. The first thing is why we need to upgrade ourselves. This is the very basic question. Why we need to upgrade ourselves. So on this, I would like to talk for say 20% of the time, which is close to 10 minutes. And next, the second segment will be on what is RPA. So of course, this is the core aspect of this particular discussion. I'll tell you what is the simple understanding of RPA. Also, I'll let you imagine how the bot works. And of course, I'll show you 2 demos as well. So that completes the core discussions for today. And post that, I'll give you a brief introduction about myself. And I'll also tell you what is there for you or what is there for the finance community from my side. I'll also just introduce you to some of the work that I have done for all these finance professionals right here. And you can ask me your questions post that. Yeah. So these are the 4 things. And with that, we'll be starting the session. The first thing, how many of you have heard about this technology? When I say how many of you have heard, I mean to say how many of you are able to visualize when you hear of the term called RPA. Can I get some yes? If you are able to visualize, say yes. If it is something new, you can simply type N. So since I want to be a more interactive, I'm just asking you to type only these things, yes or no. Superb. Thank you, Krishna Goyal, for the response. Amazing. Murthy, no. Yeah, few more responses I'm expecting. Yeah, sure. Priyanka, thank you. Sandeep, yes. Perfect. So some of you are able to visualize, some of you are not, or something new to hear this particular technology. But for sure, by the end of this particular session, the next 1 hour, you will be able to visualize how these bots will work. Also, you'll be able to visualize how the bots are executing with its own artificial intelligence. Yeah. And the next question, how many of you think that will be replaced by these bots? Okay. I think all of you are finance professionals, including me. So in finance domain, how many of you think that, okay, maybe some days, maybe after say 2 to 3 years or even say 5 years, 2025, I'll take that as a milestone. So post that, how many of you think that within these time or even post that how whether we'll be replaced by these bots? Is there any chance? If it is there, okay, say 70% or say 95%, anything you can type, or you can also say it's just a hype, will not be replaced at all. Yeah, so some yes or no. If you are keen, you can give the percentage as well. Yes, this is the percentage. Okay, no, this is the percentage, or simply no. Can I get some responses? 70, 80, it's fine. Superb. Can I get 2 more responses? 70%, thank you. So one thing is sure, that you are all believing there is a chance that will be replaced. So that I'm happy for that. Fine. So I'll also tell you how we'll be replaced by these bots. I'll show you some sort of statistics which is carried away by these automation tools or even by World Economic Forum sort of agencies. Yeah. So the last question, one last question. How many of you have heard that some of your friends, or you might be you as well, the so-called CS or finance guys are being picked up for these jobs? So how many of you have heard, or maybe you might also sometimes get a call that we are hiring for these RPA positions? So have you heard, yes or no? And of course, this is the last question. No, not yet, fine, no, fine. So guys, that is something happening, and I can show you some of my friends list who are actively into these RPA domains. In fact, I'm the one who has done this profile for more than 1 year in my previous company, which is in Bahrain. Yeah, I'll also share that experiences as well. Fine. So with that, we'll be starting the session. So here comes the first promise, why we need to upgrade. So before talking about why we need to upgrade, I'll just show you some sort of images. So what I need from you is that whether picture A is equal to picture B. I mean, both are same or not. So this is the first pic where you can see a beautiful bridge, a beautiful trees, and water is flowing under that. And I think vehicles or people will be traveling across along the bridge. So that is something which is there in the image 1. So this is all about the image 2, where we can see, I think majority is sand. Yeah, majority is the sand that is spread across. And I think bridge is also there, but I think something might have happened, and the water is flowing apart from the bridge. It is no longer going under the bridge. So is these 2 images are same? So I'm just repeating. Image 1 is this, where you can see the bridge is working perfectly, and water is also flowing just down the bridge, and people are using the bridge as well. So this is image 2. So are these images same or not? Same, yes, no, and or no, simple no. So you can type either of this, and I'll just tell you what has happened. So yes or no. Can I get some responses? Same angle, different. Fine. So any other guesses or simple guess? It's a random guess. No, it's fine. Super. Yeah. Murthy is fine. Guys, I just want some participation. Only that, nothing else. I'm just asking yes or no questions. It can be right, it can be wrong as well. Yeah. One more response so that I can meet the quorum as well. I can meet the quorum requirement of the people present. Fine. It's no. Thank you. Thank you, Ayush. Yeah. So just to repeat, so this is image 1, this is image 2, and yes, both are same. Both are absolutely same. I mean, the same bridge, but these pics are taken at a different point of time. So what has happened in the first pic and what is something which has changed in the second pic is the river is no longer flowing under the bridge, which means that the river has changed its direction. Due to some external environmental factors, the river is no longer flowing under the bridge now. As a result, what has happened is the bridge has become useless. You can see there are no one is using that bridge and it's not doing its job perfectly because the water is no longer flowing under the bridge. Yeah, so this is something which is a metaphor which will be used by many in many of the webinars as well. You might be hearing if at all you came across. So what is something that this bridge is teaching us is that we need to update ourselves as per the external environmental changes. If we haven't updated, this is something which will be happening to us. So just to relate, this is called Honduras Bridge, which is built across the river called Choluteca in US. Yeah, so at the time bridge was constructed, this is the situation. Maybe after say 2 or 3 years, due to changes in external environments, this is something that has happened to the bridge, making it completely useless. So what is something that we can learn here is, or before telling that, I'll ask you one more question. So what is river here? How we can compare the river here to our routine works? Or who are we in this scenario? Are we the river? Are we the bridge? I think that's more accurate question. Who are we? Can I say we are the bridge or we are the river in this particular example? Yeah. Perfect. I think we are the bridge. I agree with you. Thank you, Priyanka. I totally agree with you. So we are the bridge here. We are built up with the theoretical knowledge that we grabbed from our academics, from our CA books, right? So that with that we have been built. Maybe I'm not sure, my experience is 4.5 years. So I was built 4 years back. I'm not sure based on your experience, you are built at that time. But what has happened now is the river, which means the processes on carrying a work in the organizations have changed. We are no longer doing the audits by referring to these documents. We are no longer preparing the financial statements by exporting all that to Excel and preparing some Excel workings, doing some pivot tables, or all these normal things that we used to do in our articles. We are no longer filing the tax returns. All we are using is the taxation tools which are automated. In the extreme cases, assume that I don't have such access to tools, I don't have such robust ERP packages. So in their cases, companies are deploying these sort of robots, the soft robots, to carry out all these works. So what is that has changed is we are no longer required. The process can be still carried out. The audit can be still done. The financials can be still prepared. The tax filings can be still filed without a chartered accountants, because the process through which that particular activity will be done has changed. Correct? You know the reasons. These sophisticated ERPs, if they are not so sophisticated, implementation of RPA. So these things have taken out our requirement. Yeah. So that is the reason why we need to upgrade ourselves. And not only this RPA, not only this technology, so longer we are not updating with any change in internal policy, we are outdated and we are no longer required. Yeah. So with that, I would like to conclude the first segment of this discussion on why we need to upgrade. Always remember in this in your mind, we need to build ourselves not to lose, but to last ever. So we need to be required at any process. It's not that my process has been changed and we no longer require you. Correct? So that should not be the case. And to just justify that particular statement, I have used this particular metaphor. Now comes the core aspect of this discussion. Hope you understand, right? Why we need to update. Yes or no? A simple yes or no. Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Superb, superb. Thank you. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, yeah. So now moving on to the core aspect. Okay, fine. So what are the skills? I'm saying that we need to update ourselves, right? So what are the skills we need to update? Correct. So these are the modern ABCDs of digital world, which I'll be calling it as A for automation, which is nothing but the RPA that we are going to see in the next slide. B for blockchain, C for cryptocurrencies, D for data analytics, and decentralized finance. So these are the four technologies that has changed so that all the operations, the way they are carrying it out is also changed in the companies. So as a chartered accountant, as a domain expert, we need to be have a clear understanding, at least conceptual understanding. It's not that we need to design something, a conceptual understanding of what each technology is about, what each technology is capable of. Okay, so this is the level of understanding that we need to have on these modern technologies. So with that intention, I just created a course as well on how to impart, how you can get a clear idea on these technologies. I'll be discussing in a latest section of this particular session. Yeah. So we are in a era where Industry 4.0 is leading. And when you talk about Industry 4.0, these are the technologies that are currently available. The first thing is cloud computing. I think you already know about this. This is something which you have learned in our IPCCs. Cloud computing, where you can pull up all the computational power without you having uh, purchasing the available computing resources. I don't need a big CPU in my home. Rather, I can rent this computational power using the concept called cloud computing. And even I can store TBs of data without having to own these hard disks. I can buy some space and I can put my files. So that is all about cloud computing, mobile technologies, where everything you can do on your mobile, machine to machine communication, where two devices like my Alexa, yeah, it's just not working. Yeah, that can communicate with the TV or AC or a bulb. So that is called IoT or machine to machine communications. 3D printing, this is something which L&T is already using this. Advanced robotics, this is something in car manufacturing. Big data analytics and RFID technologies, where you are using at inventory scanning and all. And the most important thing, cognitive computing, which means that computers will be able to imagine or able to think just like the way we are doing. So these are all a plethora of technologies that are available in the current world, thus changing the way the operations are being carried out. So these are something that we need to have a theoretical understanding of how each technology works out. Yeah. So now comes the thing. I'll just take you through few predictions or few statistics, which shows that why we need to update. Yeah. Or what is the level of automation India is looking into. So I'll just quickly go through the first kind of report, which is from Automation Anywhere. So yeah. Okay, I think it's okay. Let me open the second link as well. Oh, it's just loading. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think some issue with the link, but the other one opened. I'll just refresh once and we'll go to, yeah, I think this got open. Okay, so this is the report from Automation Anywhere, which is carried in February 2021, I think close to 2 months back. Okay, so this report says that 50% of the Indian companies are ready to deploy automation by 2024. It's just next 3 years. So within next 3 years, what this report speaks is that more than 50% of the Indian companies, I'm not going to refer to the world economy or the world companies or the world statistics. I'm just restricting myself to India because we are all attending from India. Okay. So here we can see that more than 57% of the companies are investing in RPA and automation, and 21% are investing in data analytics or big data, 7% in machine learning, 15% in other emerging technologies, which means blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and DeFi. Yeah. So this is the importance of automation that India is looking into in this short term. I will not say it has a long term as well. In the next 3 to 5 years, we can see the percentage of Indian companies opting this automation. And just to add more to the facts, this survey has been conducted across 1,600 Indian customers, I mean, industry gates. Okay, so that's the level of importance that was given to automation. And the next thing is something from World Economic Forum, where I think I need to go to page 14, where they just asked the world companies stating key, what are your activities to combat with COVID? Yeah, so you can see the responses. Out of, say, in terms of percentages, 84% of the companies told that they want to digitalize the work processes. Yeah, I think I'll just zoom it a bit so that you can see. So 84% of the companies say that I want to digitalize the work process. And I want to, I think the second is from work from home. Anyway, that is not relevant for our discussions, but just to tell you, 83% of the companies are opting to go for work from home. And more than 50% of the companies are telling automation of tasks. Okay. 42% of the companies are telling I need to upskill my workforce, upskilling or reskilling the digitalization. Yeah, again, 35 companies, percent of the companies are telling that I want to accelerate implementation of reskilling programs to employees. Yeah, so if you see the top 35% or 35% of their voting goes to automation or digitalization of their organization processes. Yeah, so this is not something I'm telling. This is the report from World Economic Forum Future of Jobs 2020 report. Yeah, so with that, we just concluded the statistics part as well. I'll just go to my previous slide. Yeah, so just to give you some technologies that you need to know about, Neuralink, which is actively being worked by Elon Musk, where a chip will be implanted in your brain and that chip will be able to communicate with the external devices, right? So that is something which is he is actually working on. Biohacking, where you can implant some sort of chips into your genes so that you will be getting the required capability or the required power you want. Say, for example, I want to have a six-pack, or I want to have a thinking where I can think 10 times better than the others. I can have this by doing this technique called biohacking, also on which many companies are working on too. And the next one is biomicrochip, where I'll be implanting some sort of chip into my hand so that if I do some wave, I mean, to a POS machines, I can get my transaction executed. I can pay to him as well. And the nanobots, which is a technology where a micro robot will be implanted into our body, which will fight with the cancer cells and we can get rid of this cancer. Yeah. And the last concept is called designer babies, where you can have exactly the baby to look like you. So these are all the innovations that are happening. The reason why I'm telling is that I just want to make you understand these are something which are not possible before, but now it is being made possible. And when I talk about finance and accounts activities, which are rule based, which are routine and rule based, and just imagine the extent of impact these robots will have in this finance and accounting domain. The way we are doing works are already configured, are already designed into this bot so that they're executing it so pretty well that no errors, and they are executing it 24/7 without any process delays, kind of thing. Yeah, so that's the impact automation is having on these routine finance and accounts activities. Hardly what we are doing is we are referring to some sort of Companies Act, some sort of Indian AS, some sort of taxation rules, and we are executing based on that. So it's no, what I can say, it's not a, I'm not getting a right word. It's not a, I'm not getting, yeah. So it's not so complicated. Whatever is there, whatever we are doing is just a rule based, correct? So these are prone to extreme level of automation. In fact, I'll also tell you more than 95% impact is there on accountancy and audit jobs. Well, so with that, it's high time to decide whether we need to be in a scenario where human versus robots or human with robots. When I say human with robots means you know how to make that particular robot work for you. When I say human versus robots, you're not willing to change and you don't know these technology advancements that are happening. And one fine day, you will see, you will be in a position, you will be ending up in a scenario where your work will be done by the robots, thus making you jobless. Yeah, of course. What is your answer? It's option A or option 2? Option 2 is human with robots. Option A is human versus robots. Can I get some yes? I mean, sorry, option A or option B? Option 2, fine. Perfect, perfect. Yeah. So now I'll take you through the concept called what exactly is RPA. Yeah. So what is RPA? Yeah. Here I have mentioned a very simple definition. RPA is nothing but process of automating business operations with the help of robots. But why? To reduce human intervention. As simple as that. RPA is nothing but the process of automating business operations with the help of robots to reduce human intervention. Yeah, when I say robotic, it means some sort of entities. We can say simple as robots. That is something we can visualize. Process is nothing but the sequence of steps. Maybe you can take any activity of MIS or taxation or whatever. So that a sequence of steps is called a process. Well, automation is nothing but the process if it is done by a robot. Correct. So that is a very basic and simple definition of RPA. But now what is that I promised is that I'll make you to visualize how exactly a bot will work. Correct. So now let's start the visualization. Okay. Just close your eyes and just imagine whatever I'm speaking. Okay. So today is Sunday. Tomorrow is Monday. So assume that when you have been to office at your usual timing, say 9:30, and by the time you went to your office, you are able to see that a particular robot is sitting in the computer. I mean, sitting in your seat. Okay, and you have been allotted a desktop, say for example, and it is logging into your desktop, giving the user ID password, open the login screen, and now what it's doing is it is just opening the Google Chrome, and some of your vendor has sent you some attachments of invoices. Okay, it is opening that attachments, it is reading through all this data of what is there in that particular invoice. After reading it, it is opening the SAP or it is opening the Tally, say for example whatever ERP package that you are using, it is opening that. Now it is entering the user ID password of that SAP, it is logged in. Now it is opening that particular vendor module where it can pass on these particular invoices. Once it enters that particular window in SAP screen, it is simply starting entering all these details: vendor name, vendor invoice, items, item value, all these things it is entering. And once it enters everything, it is saving and it is sending a mail to the vendor stating that your invoice, whatever you have sent to me, has been properly booked. So how cool is that? This is something which assume you are supposed to do if you are in that P2P process or say accounts payable process for the time being. Correct. Now this is something which you are supposed to do, but this is something which a robot is doing using the same laptop or the desktop which you are using, navigating with your mouse like this. I think you are able to see, right? Navigating to the windows like this, opening the desired applications like this, and in fact typing it just like the way we are typing. I'll just type it as well. Yeah, so that's the way a robot is working. It's not doing anything in the back end. The same way how you are doing, how you are moving your mouse, how you are typing the characters in the keyboard, it is doing the same way. So my dear friends, that is called robotic process automation. And a small correction here, no physical robot will be there. So just to add to your visualization, I just mentioned that a robot is sitting in your seat. No, it doesn't go that way. When we hear about RPA, there is no physical robots like the one we have seen in the Rajnikant movie Chitti the Robot, or something we are seeing in Sophia. So not like that. It's a soft robot that will sit inside your computer, inside your desktop, and will be doing all these activities based on some trigger points. Okay, so hope you got it. So you are able to visualize. Can I get some yes or no? If you are able to visualize, just to enhance into a bigger picture, I'll show you a demo in the next slide. Can I get some responses? Yes, yes, yes. Sandeep, I think you can change the chat settings to all so that you can reply to all. As of now, I'm able to see your messages. It's a direct message. Yeah. Thank you. So can I get some more S so that I'll be in a comfortable position that, okay, whatever I have spoken was delivered fine. Yeah. So only the enhancement is that you need to remove the term called physical robot in the visualization. Yeah, it's a soft robot that is sitting in your computer and it is working or triggering based on the events happening. Well, so now it's high time to see a demo on the same event that I have shown to you, which is called, say, invoice booking. Yeah. So let me call that particular demo into action. So leave about these technical definitions. These are not for us. We want the conceptual clarity. And once we are clear with the conceptual clarity, we can go back at any time and see all these technical definitions. Yeah. So give me a minute. I'll just open this. Yeah, I got it. Just a minute. I'll pause it. Yeah. Okay, so let me give you the context to understand better. And can someone please confirm you're able to see the system sounds also, no? You're able to hear the system sounds also, no? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So in this example, I'll just play right here. So what will happen is this particular robot is downloading all the attachments that it has received from the mail. Say, for example, they are invoices sent by a particular vendor. It is saving all those in a file or in a folder. It is opening your SAP. It is reading all your invoices and then opening your SAP. And then it is navigating to the bill module or bill booking module. And it is starting entering into that ERP. Okay. Once it identifies that there are some issues, there are some errors in numbers that were on that particular invoice, it will send a notification to the authority. Say, for example, it's me who is responsible for purchase orders, bill booking. It will ask me saying, ki, Prem, this is what the error in the invoice. What do you want me to do? If you want me to proceed, type yes. If you want me to stop the action, type no. Correct? And say, for example, I typed yes. So what robot will do? It will read the message in the mail and it will continue its action. That is something which you are going to see now. And this will be super amazing. So this is for you.
Folder where invoices are saved in PDF format. Reading invoices from that folder one by one. Extracting key information from the invoices. Opening SAP. Filling in invoice details in SAP. Sending email notifications. Please note that the robot will do some activities in the background, such as most of the invoice-related actions, monitoring a folder or checking its email address. Now let's see it working. Right now, it's monitoring a folder where 3 invoices are stored and collecting all the information needed so it can register them one by one. It then asks the tester to introduce the email address where the posting notification will be sent, and also performs basic checks to see if the SAP is open and runs it on its own if not. Logging into SAP using its credentials, it then starts processing the invoices one by one. We can see it filling in data such as vendor code, invoice date, invoice number, invoice amount, invoice description, and GL account, and ends up by filling the payment term. Following that, it registers the remaining 2 invoices in the assigned company code. An email containing the SAP registration number is sent automatically by the robot after successfully registering each invoice. Checking in the background, the robot verifies whether the VAT on the invoice matches the one in our database, and if so, will post it automatically. Otherwise, it will park it and send a dedicated email to the responsible person highlighting this difference and asking what to do. Post the invoice or to cancel it and send it back to the vendor. All the invoice's details are visible in the email it sends, so let's reply with yes to the message for an invoice with a VAT difference. Finally, it will check its email address in the background, access SAP using the appropriate transaction code, and post the invoice. That's it. The robot has successfully posted the 3 invoices in SAP.
So how's that? So I just want to know your feedback, guys. How's that? Is it clear or is it something just gone above our heads, so that I'll be explaining it now. Can I get some responses? Yes, no, it was clear, or it is simply amazing. Superb, superb. Yeah, thank you, Krishna Goyal, for just giving a reference. Superb, superb, superb. Thank you. And in fact, I'll show you the next demo where robot will be able to use its artificial intelligence So if you see this particular process, it haven't used any intelligence. It's just a plain robot which is working on if-then conditions. Yeah, it just worked. I mean, the designers who are designed this particular robot, which is from UiPath, they just configure it like, okay, if so and so happens, or if so and so criteria satisfies, do this. If that doesn't satisfy, do this. It's just a rule-based and routine thing that has happened. And here comes the question: how robot is able to read the invoice? Can anyone give me some reference how it is able to do? It's a PDF copy, of course. It's a digital copy. It's a soft copy. And with what technology robot is able to identify the exact key fields? Okay, this is the invoice amount. This is the GST amount, or this is the VAT amount. This is the vendor name. How it is able to identify? Well, I'll tell you, all this is due to the concept called optical character recognition and indexing the required key fields. So before creating this particular robot, or during the process of this particular robot creation, the designers will be teaching this robot, okay, if you see an amount which contains the fields like total, gross amount, invoice value, which means that is your total invoice value. If you see some sort of names like VAT, GST, or service tax or whatever, which means that's your tax amount which you need to put into this particular column in SAP. This way they'll be coding all these things so that robot will never make a mistake unless there is a flaw in our configuration, and it will execute this task within a fraction of seconds. Yeah, so this is one such beautiful example that will enable us to visualize what exactly is RPA. Well, so as promised, I'll just show you one more demo which will last for next 3 minutes. And this is something which I have seen only today morning. For the first time, this is something which is done by one of my a connection which whom I met in LinkedIn. He created a robot or a bot which will read the images. I'm sorry, it's images, CCTV footage images, and it will warn that particular supermarket stating key, in this particular area, you have so and so number of people excess than the COVID norms. Correct? No, that's what happening. We don't want people to gather at these sort of places, supermarkets, movie theaters, and all. So what is happening is there is a person. I mean, if at all they appoint, there is a person who will be monitoring all these. And if he sees people standing more than 10 number or more than 15 number, he will go to that and tell to the people just to maintain some distance and don't be in a groups. Correct? But this is something which is automated now. He's the person who has created a sample or a prototype which is working absolutely well, and that is something I'm going to show you now. And there, this particular bot is using its own artificial intelligence, and it's identifying when to send a mail to the concerned authority in the supermarket. Yeah, I'll just show you. And after seeing that video, you can tell me, or you can guess where we can apply that particular technology in our CA domain. You can take the example of audit, taxation, or whatever. Just try to give me some example where we can use a similar concept. Yeah. So here we go. I'm just playing the video for you. Again, it will be 3-minute video.
The bot. So this is the robot which I have created, which integrates with UiPath's AI Center. Now I'm running the bot. Let's go ahead and look at what's happening right now. So let me show you the output folder is empty currently. As soon as bot starts running, bot will start going through each and every store. Now in each store, I have a list of store with the store code, the name of the store owner, and the email of the store owner. Now for the first store, there is only one person standing here, and bot has detected that store 1001 contains one number of people. That means only one person is there right now inside the store. So I will simply click on OK. Now there in this store, rules have not been broken. And you can see in the output image, bot has identified that this is a person. And also you can identify that this is a car which is identified outside the store. Now bot has identified this person, and that's why bot has skipped and not have sent a warning email. However, in store number 2 contains 14 number of people, and warning email has been sent to Srishti, who is the owner of store 1002. Now, who is Srishti? So here we have our data where we have all the emails of each and all the store codes across matching with the name of the store owner with the email. So for now, I have kept this as my personal email to show you that how this actually works. Now what I will simply do is I will simply click on OK. Now for the store number 2, bot has identified that there are more than 14. So there are total 14 people right here standing, and that is the regulation. So here the rule is completely broken, and that's why an email with warning message has been sent to the owner. Now let's look at the email. So I will quickly refresh, and here's the email. So this email says, number of people in store 1002 exceeded. Hi Srishti, who is the owner of the store. According to the person counter machine learning robot, the limit of number of person in store has exceeded. And it has also, bot has also attached an image of the store for the reference, so that this warning message has been sent by government. Now for the store number 3, let's go back to store number 3. There are only 4 people detected here. So that is not it's not breaking the rule. So that's fine. Bot will still move ahead with the 5th image. Sorry.
Well, so there we can refer to a advanced bot which is using its own artificial intelligence and using the concept called image recognition as well. Yep. So have you understand how that works? I mean, you got a clear picture, right? How the bot is able to visualize, how the bot is able to analyze by seeing a particular picture. And if the rules are broken, then only it is sending a mail to that particular store's authority or supermarket authority stating key. In that particular place, there are more number of people than permitted. Yeah. In fact, I would like to recall a beautiful example where bots are used in insurance claims as well. And that is something which I have mentioned in the course. You will be able to see a dedicated video session on that, where on seeing the images of car pictures, the accident car pictures, the robot will be able to ascertain the percentage of damage, and it will be able to communicate to the applicant that you will be able to receive a claim of so and so amount, and this is also being deposited in the bank in the next 2 minutes. So that's the level of automation that insurance companies are looking to, and insurance companies are already applied into their use cases. Well, so their robots are able to use its own artificial intelligence, and they are arriving at a percentage of loss. Yeah. So these are all something that are happening, and hope this have given you a wide picture, right? So can I get some responses? Yes or no? Yes or no, or someone is watching IPL. Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So, and my question still remains, where we can use this particular technology of image recognition. You have time. I mean, it's not that you need to tell me right now. If you can guess something, you can guess, or you can give me at the end of this particular session as well. Yeah. So since I was amazed at that, this is something where we can implement in our CA domains or in our audit domains or taxation domains or some other domains, so that I just shortlisted only for today's discussion. This is not something which I have discussed previously, because I think I'll show you the proof as well. That video has been uploaded when May 1st, which is yesterday. Correct? So yeah, I think you are on bang on. Correct. Stock audits, audit trail. Yes, even that comes into picture when they are able to establish a correlation within the audit sampling. Yeah, even the audit trail as well. Yes, stock audits is the perfect example where we can train that, but yes, inventory count, where we can train these particular robots to identify based on the images. We'll be training them. Of course, we'll be just showing this bottle so that the robot, I think in the example also you have seen, it not only identified the person, it has also identified the plastic bags. It has also identified the cars, and yeah, something like that. And you can also see the percentage. I'm sure this is 80%, it's a car, 0.08, you can see the number. Yeah, apart from the count, you can also see the probability of accuracy in counting. Okay, so like that, we can implement these technologies in inventory count or the stock audits as well. And we can also implement these sort of image recognition or optical character recognition. That is something which I have seen in the first demo in our audit inspection, where we can see the evidences collected from the auditees. Yeah, in fact, I'll show you the website as well, where we can find dedicated use cases for audit, because this is some question I got from some of the participants stating, I just want to know the use cases in audit. So for them, I have shortlisted a web page as well. I'll just show you now itself. Yeah, so this is something where robots have in place for internal audits. So just to run through, I think we are falling short of time. Just to run through, robots can be used to collect data and cleanse the data for analytics. Correct? If you download some report from ERPs, I'll be getting with n number of columns which I don't want. Correct? What I'll do, I need to manually open the Excel, delete the unnecessary columns, give some proper headings which I want, and convert that into some sort of pivot tables, apply some sort of group functions, or do some sort of data analysis. But before doing all this, I'm cleaning the data, removing unnecessary fields, adding the required fields, or giving some sort of headings, some sort of pivots, correct? So this is all something bots can do for us. And the next thing, risk assessment. Based on the audit samples that were fed into these robots, they'll be categorizing these transactions into high risk, low risk, or whatever things we are configuring. The third thing is population gathering. And again, the same, based on the given sample of data, they will be analyzing the trends, and they will be picking up some of these particular samples, and also will be asking the auditees to provide the necessary evidence only for those transactions. And the next thing, automation of controls. This is, say, for example, how whether they met these control adherence to these controls. Whenever they do some sort of approvals, do some sort of procurement, they'll just verify with the internal policies. If this is the amount, this is the person who can approve. So they will check all these routine controls as well, thus giving us more time to do some more productive tasks. And the last thing, which is of course more interesting, internal audit project management of areas, which means that, let's see what it is doing. Identifying open items, sending follow-up emails, and documenting status. Core auditor can relate this. We need to follow up, right? We need to follow up with the client that what has happened to this observation? What is your feedback for this particular point? So that is something bots will do. For every 7 days or for every 7 hours, for every 1 day, it will send a follow-up mail to the client stating what is your feedback. And it will, once it receives feedback, it will also notify us stating what's your response. Okay. Next thing, tracking progress against projected plan and audit plan, annual audit plan. This is something, monitoring the performance indicators of this audit process. And the last thing is something which I really like, automating reporting. And once you, and it doesn't depend on you, whatever mails you have communicated to between the auditee and that will read that mails and it will prepare a report as well. Yeah, of course, a standard template will be feeding it, and in that template it will feed in all the pending comments or pending audit points that we have observed and which I have raised. If no response has been received, or if we haven't closed that point, that will be an open point, and that will be kept into this particular report. Yeah, it will also prepare audit committee decks and PowerPoint presentations. So these are something which RPA has in respect to audit domain. Yeah. So the reason why I picked this is, as I told, I have got a requirement from one of, I think these are the requirements from the people that have filled the form. So one of the point here is how RPA can lend handing auditing. Yeah. So for that, I just refer to that particular web page. So guys, that's all about what exactly is RPA. Hope you are able to visualize what exactly is this. Now, let me just give you a brief comparison, or just to highlight some of these characteristics. It's a soft robot. It's not a physical robot. It can work across various applications. It can be Google Chrome, internet banking, ICICI net banking website, SBI banking, whatever application, SAP, Tally, Excel, Word, whatever application you are able to interact, bot is able to interact. Okay, so that's the logic. Whatever application you are able to do, bot is also able to interact in the same way you do. It might feel something close to macros, but thing is, macros is a limited concept which works within Excel. Whereas if you see RPA, it also works the same way, but it works with across various external applications. Macro cannot go to internet banking website and put in the login details, but RPA can do. So it's much more advanced. But if you want to visualize, you can just take a reference to macro. Just imagine how the macro will work. If you click some macro button, it will just do some sort of magics and you will see the result in the next 3 to 5 seconds. The same way RPA also will work, but across various external applications. Okay, it's very flexible, and it also responds to the changes in business processes. So what is this? How it is able to respond? I'll say a quick example. Say, for example, SBI internet banking website, login screen is on the top right. SBI has some sort of UI changes. They updated their website, and now it's no longer there. It is somewhere in the top left. But bot still be able to identify, and it will click there only, and it will enter the user ID password. Yeah, so bots are educated as well. It's not that every time it goes to the top left only and clicks there and it didn't find process stops. No, it doesn't go that way. Yeah, and easily configurable. This is something which it's not required to talk now. The configuration and all takes at least some knowledge and at least some time for us to get into. But one thing is sure, how you are able to work your Excel, you will be able to work the same way. You will be able to create the same way the robots in no code platforms. Yeah, that's so easy. I'll not talk now because that will be more technical. And of course, the last point, it's less costly than full-time employee. And hence companies are looking into that. Yeah. So those are the key characteristics of these particular robots. And now let me give you, in the next 10 minutes, I'll just give you my introduction. This is something I haven't spoken to you. And I'll also tell you what is something I have done for the CA community. If you like this, you can just think of opting it. Yeah, it's not mandatory. I just want to show you what something I have done for you. Yeah. So myself, Prem Kasi, I'm a chartered accountant and a company secretary, just like many of you. But apart from that, I'm a RPA and blockchain enthusiast. Yeah, blockchain is something I have been actively working for the last 2.5 years of time, where I have taken various sessions on teaching these blockchain fundamentals. And also I'm maintaining my own website or a blog where I'll be updating all the blockchain industry use cases. And as of now, the count is close to 180 plus, where you can go to my website and you can take a look. I'll just share the link for that as well. And talking about where I got this RPA experience, it's from my previous employment. So I got a new opportunity in abroad, and the country is called Bahrain. The company name is Almoid International Group, where I have been taken as a project manager to drive this automation project. So there we are implementing these RPA into our finance and accounts operations, even commercial operations or stores as well. So, so there I have shortlisted, say, 6 activities over the period of 1 year time frame, and I just automated 4 of them. Due to some timing constraint, the last 2 things are not yet done, and which is also been carried by other people as I came back to India. But 4 activities or things that I have automated completely. And just to say you the fact, I have automated 140 bank accounts ka BRS. So just imagine the time it will take for the employees to do BRS for 140 bank accounts. And when I say 140, minimum 25 banks are dealing with foreign currency accounts, foreign currency transactions. I'll just give you a simple question. Normal BRS, you can do amount is equal to amount, date is equal to date, some sort of check number is equal to check number. Fine. But imagine the same scenario. If it is a foreign currency transaction, you will be entering in your INR. There it will be in USD. If you convert, the difference also will not match. And the reason for difference is the bank charges. On that bank charges, there is a VAT. All these complications will be coming. Even it's more difficult for a human to do all these calculations and just to put tick for a line item. Correct? But all these things I have given the logics so that my designer is able to do all those things, and we are able to automate close to 95%. In fact, I'll show you one of my achievement as well. And this is the thing. So you can see this is something news article from Gulf Daily newspaper, which is a national newspaper, or I can say international newspaper, which is spread across 6 Gulf countries. Okay, 6 GCC countries. So this is the article which I was there, and you can see 16th November, which is close after 8 months of my project time. So where you can see it's me here who is the heading this particular project from finance and accounts background, and she's from IT support, and he is my boss, of course, the CFO of the company. He is the COO of the company's chief CTO of the company, and he is the RPA designer. These 2 guys are RPA designers. So they will be designing these particular bots based on the instructions or based on the requirements that we give, based on the logics that we give. So why I'm showing you my team is that tomorrow, when your company is going to implement RPA in your company, you will be leading this particular project from a functional consultant, acting as a single point of contact between the designers and your company. Yeah, so that's the role or the responsibility that you will be given if at all you are being picked up as a project manager. Yeah, so this is something that I have achieved, and in fact, I'm very happy that day when I was able to see my face coming into onto this GDN newspaper. Yeah. Well, so just to continue, I'm a blogger at this particular website, which is www.globalphoenix.in. I'll just put it in the chat as well, in case if you guys want to see. Yeah, thank you, Sandeep. Yeah. Okay, just go there and go to blog and go to fintech. So there you will be finding all my use cases on blockchain. And yes, my first job is internal auditor, and that's from Chennai. I'd love to be called as a fintechy. So that's all about myself. And now comes to the last topic. I'll tell you what is there. What is that? I did something for the CA community. So having processing all these project implementation experience in hand, I have sat in, dedicated some 80 days time to create a course which is purely for chartered accountants. And one thing I would like to say, this is something which you will not be getting anywhere, because all the courses on RPA are for software designers. Correct? All those are for technical people. No, nothing is for functional consultants like us. So I'll just show you the curriculum so that you will be able to decipher what is something which is available in the other platforms versus what is available in this platform. Well, so for this, I'm not going to refer to any PPTs. I'll go to this website, which myself and my friend have created. Yeah, so this is something which is edu.globalphoenix website, and this is my course. And I'll just show you the contents of this course and the support that I'll be giving in case if you want to learn more on this RPA. Yeah, so the class is for 3 hours 15 minutes, which means 4 hours. And the first session is introduction to RPA and how you can contact me and sessions. Contact me and just to clarify your doubts. This is all basic. And now comes the core topics. What is RPA, which is explained in simple terms. How the RPA bot works. And in fact, I gave you a live demo as well. And why RPA is required. And this question I have answered from the company point of view, from the organization employee point of view, from the external environment point of view. So what are the factors that is making all these 3 players to focus on RPA? Yeah, so that is something I have explained in a 8-minute video. And the next thing, what are the benefits? Of course, I can speak 20, 30 benefits a company can get, a customer can get, an employee can get if they opt for automation, if they opt for RPA. Now comes the very important question, how to select a process for RPA. It's not that I know RPA, I know how a bot will work, I'll automate this process. No, things doesn't go that way. If you are selecting a wrong process to automate, just imagine the consequences it will bring in. Your employees will not be satisfied because they are already satisfied with the way they are doing the manual approach. Now you are bringing it to some sort of robot and asking them to work along with that. Of course, they don't agree and you will be a failure. Whatever investment you are putting into that particular project, the time, the resources, everything will go waste. So very, very, very important concept is how to select a process. There are certain guidelines, there are certain thumb rules which you need to follow so that you will be able to shortlist a process, then take that for automation. There are certain number of filtrations and discussions that you need to do, and everything I have discussed in this particular topic. Next comes, what are the myths or misconceptions about RPA? Of course, we might be having a lot of expectations on RPA bots, but there are some limitations. Of course, there are some myths as well where we understand it wrong, but RPA is much more capable. The other way, where we have expected more, RPA is not able to do. So everything I have covered there. And the next one, challenges in our automation. So after doing all this analysis, you are able to come to conclusion that yes, I want to automate, but you need to know the challenges that you will be encountering in this RPA implementation, the roadblocks, the brainstorming discussions that you need to have to overcome these roadblocks are the things I have discussed there. And the next comes 3 golden rules. And this is something I just shared my end-to-end experience, complete RPA journey in my organization or in any organization, that sort of timeline we need to go through. That is something I have discussed. And now comes the amazing things, use cases of automation in finance, HR, audit, taxation. What is that something you can do in all these profiles? If you are someone from audit, you can definitely refer this. If you are someone from taxation, you can refer this. If you are someone from finance, please refer that. And now going to much more technical or somewhat technical. What are the types of bots? Attended, unattended, hybrid. Attended means you need to work along with that. Unattended, you go sit in home, that will take care of everything 100%. Hybrid, it will just interact with you whenever it is required, or else it will just go and do that work. Yeah, so that sort of models are there. That is something I have discussed. And types of automation models, again, based on the various types of robots, we have a lot of permutations, right? Human in the loop or completely attended, completely unattended. A lot of automation models are there. Depending on the use case, you need to opt any of the automation model. Yeah, a combination of attended or unattended bots. So that is something which is in automation models. Now coming to much more interesting and useful topics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and RPA. What are these? Are these 3 same? Or what is the difference between these 3? How we can understand in easy and simple language? I have explained in 9-minute video. Yeah. And what exactly is hyper automation? This is something, remember I told earlier, cognitive computing, which means that machines are able to think in their own way without we being guiding that. So that concept is called hyper automation. In fact, this is considered as strategic technology for 2020, place 1 by Gartner. Yeah, that's the level of importance this particular technology is having. The next one, in fact, I have given you a couple of demos on that as well. One thing is on incidence processing, next thing is on purchase order booking. And next thing, RPA as a service, just like cloud computing we have. This is something which is trending nowadays, RPA as a service, which means that you are not required to buy in any of the hardware requirements. Everything will be provided by the service provider, just like Amazon Web Services. Yeah, just like Google Drive, where you can host everything on that particular locations and access via online. Yeah, and of course, we need to know what are the various players in RPA domain, so that you can pick one of these players, so that you can implement your RPA in your company. So there I have discussed who are the available players. I have referred to top 10 players as well. And I have given a comparison between top 3 players. UiPath, I think 2 demos are from UiPath only. If you remember the red icon, UiPath. Okay. And the next is from Automation Anywhere. The other is the Blue Prism. These are the top 3 players. In fact, UiPath has been listed recently. It's a listed company. You can imagine the potential it has. Yeah, since automation is the trend, these companies are planning to expand like anything, and they are listed in, I think, in NASDAQ, not in India, it's in US. Yeah, of most important thing, new roles for CS like us. In fact, I'll touch in the next slide as well. This is something which is really required. And here comes the last topics. What exactly is OCR? What is computer vision? What is proof of concept? What is orchestration? And other things like natural language processing. Due to this only, I'm able to speak to my Alexa. I'm just speaking in a natural language and it is able to process that information, right? So that is called NLP, which is natural language processing. And the next thing is called deep learning, or IoT, Internet of Things, APIs, application programming interfaces, and the cognitive automation. So these are the other technologies that you need to learn along with RPA. Well, so for, on each topic, I have spoken say 2 to 3 minutes with the clear live examples. When I talk about NLP, I'll refer to my Alexa. When I talk about IoT, I'll refer to my AC or the bulb, the smart bulb. When I talk about API, I'll give a reference to the GST websites on how our ERPs can talk with the GST or income tax websites in the backend. Correct? So these are some of the 10 technologies that you need to learn about, which works with RPA or which works beyond RPA. Well, so this way I have configured this particular course only for chartered accountant, finance professionals, and we'll be having an assessment as well, which is consisting of 25 MCQs. If you answer the questions, and I have given a criteria as 60%, if you are passing that, you will be certified. You will be given a certificate. Yeah. And apart from all this, I want to give more support. So I have created one more section where I'll be discussing all the updates and industry use cases. This is purely optional. Whenever I find some very good use cases, I'll make a video and I'll update here. This is optional. Up to here, your course will end, but I'll be giving a additional support like this. And you can also see a demo video. And in all these videos, I'll be available just like how I'm talking in the Zoom with my face on the top right. I'll be available all the times in all the videos. Yeah. Now, just to give you the extra support that you'll be getting if you opt this course. Yeah. So here are the things. If you click here, you'll be able to WhatsApp me. Yeah. So I have given the WhatsApp link and you can check the introduction video right here. And you can join the Telegram group, which I started by clicking here. So every support is available here. And in fact, if you click here, I think I can show you. Yeah, it just takes you to the Telegram group. And if you, the same with WhatsApp as well. So that's the support I'm just giving you. And I think I'm done. But as a promise I made, I'll just show you the new roles that CS are getting into. I'll just take 1 more minute. And before that, I just want to tell you, if at all you want to enroll for the course, I'm just forwarding you the link as well, along with the coupon code. I'm not charging much. It's 1,000 rupees, but you will be getting a 10% discount as well. But it's not a time offer. I'm not asking you to enter right now. Take your time. If you believe that, okay, this is something which is going to add more value, use this coupon code and jump in. You'll be getting it close to 920 rupees, 920. That's it. Nothing else. And I think you have seen the resources that I'll be sharing. a Telegram support, WhatsApp support, and real-time updates on daily basis. Yeah. And now just to tell you what are the new opportunities that you will be getting as a chartered accountant in this domain, subject matter expert, which means that, say for example, RPA is going to implement in say MIS process or financial preparation process or sort of AP and AR processes. So that time you will be carrying that particular project, acting as a subject matter expert. You are the person who will be doing all the knowledge transfer to this particular designer stream, so that they'll be designing the product according to your requirement. So just imagine the level of importance that you are having. Of course, you are responsible for testing that. You're responsible for doing the user acceptability testing and signing the acceptance of that particular project or the bot. So that's the importance that you will be having as a subject matter expert. The next role you will be getting is the project manager, which is something I have done, where you will be responsible for end-to-end project completion. Yeah. So unlike the subject matter expert, where you are responsible only for that particular activity or a process, here you are responsible for everything: arranging the IT resources, purchasing the server, installing it, using some sort of file transfer protocols to download the bank statements, giving the logics, testing, understand the other users, conducting workshops. So all these things you are supposed to manage end to end, acting as a project manager who is the topmost authority in handling that RPA project. Yeah. And the next thing is process owner. This is a lesser role where you are responsible only to that particular process. Say, for example, they are automating MIS by using ERP or Excel and combining all these two applications. They want to prepare some sort of beautiful MIS reports. And you are the person who are supposed to accept that, design that. So your role is limited to only the MIS process. Yeah. Unlike subject matter expert, where he is responsible for entire F&A, project manager, where he is responsible for entire RPA project. In the process owner, you are responsible only to your process. Yeah. So that's the third role. In fact, this is the highest role where our CAs are getting. Now, representatives of RPA tools, which is the other side of the game. I'm no longer a company employee. I'm an employee of the RPA company who wants to implement RPA in your company. Yeah. So I'm representing them, my RPA team, my UiPath, my Automation Anywhere, or my Blue Prism. Yeah. So I'll be acting as a bridge where I'll be breaking that. I will be concluding the deal with the company. Yeah. So I'll just come to a company and I'll tell you, okay, these are the processes where you can automate. And this is something which you have done in the other company. So this is also the profile where these companies are looking into. Correct. They are from designers. They cannot come to our companies and say that I can automate your audit process. You will ask, who are you? They will tell, I'm a software engineer. And your question will be, how you know all these things? And they'll answer will be, no, I don't know. Correct. So CAs are representing these RPA companies as well, so that these people are able to make a deal with the prospective clients. Yeah. And the next thing is RPA designers. Of course, this is not something for us, but if you are truly interested, you can establish a career as well as a designer, because the designing of RPA is so easy that it's just like interacting with the Excel or Word. Okay. So that is all about the designers. And then comes RPA auditors and consultants, which means that just like a system audit, you can have the profiles like RPA auditors. And if you ask me right now, we don't have a specific RPA auditor, but we have system auditors. But in future, with the improvements in these companies seeking for automation, they'll ask you to audit whether that particular process is fine or not. If they don't have any resources internally, they might appoint me as an RPA consultant or you as an RPA consultant, because you know everything about the project management skills and all in driving the RPA project. They'll hire you as an RPA auditor and they will ask you to certify the bot implementation. Yeah. So these are various profiles which are open for chartered accountants, company secretaries, CMAs, and all the fintech finance professionals. Well, so I think with that, I have just ran through 10 more minutes, but I think I have covered very well. So now the stage is open for you. You can ask any of the doubts regarding the course or regarding the contents for the next 5 minutes. And if you face any difficulty in how to opt for the course, I'll just tell you what you need to do is just go to that website, create your login. And in fact, this is something which we are working on the website as well. We'll be adding more and more options as well, where you can log in with social profiles, like login from Google or login from LinkedIn or Facebook. That is also something we are planning. And once you create your login, add to cart. And in the finishing page, you need to apply the course, apply the coupon, which is RPA for CA. Once you apply that, you'll be getting a flat 10% off, and that with that you can purchase this course. And of course, let me clear the doubts. Course is available all the time, lifetime. It's not that it will be accessed for 6 months or 1 year. I have given it for lifetime, and you also seen the support that you'll be getting. So now stage is open for you. You can ask me the doubts. So any doubts? Hello, are you there or? Yeah, duration, of course, Gaurav, it's as of now 4 hours. I mean, excluding that extra materials that I uploaded, and you can do it as just like Udemy. Yeah, so all the videos are available, recorded videos, and you can play at your convenience. And I recommend to make at least 2 weeks course to 1 month. Yeah, just watch 1 video or 2 videos at a day max, so that 28 videos by 2 is 14 days. So that will give you more information. And one more thing I just forgot to tell you, I have given 60 plus resources as well, 60 plus reference materials in the course. Like when you play the second video, you will be finding in the description 2 more links, 2 more YouTube videos or sort of PDF contents which will enhance your learning. So I recommend to do that as well. So with that, I would like to give you the course duration as 1 month. If you're skipping that, maybe you can do it in 7 days or 10 days. Yeah. So any other question? Thank you. Thank you, Gaurav. Any other question on any timings or whatever? And you can play the course in the mobile as well. We have given that support as well. You can play by a web access or mobile access. And app is something which we are planning. Maybe if that is required, we'll drive it faster, but that costs something, so we are not willing to provide you by app. So as of now, we can play with mobile or website. Thank you, Sandeep. I hope you have learned something new by keeping your IPL aside. So soon after this, we'll be back to that. So I hope I haven't disturbed any of the schedules. And first, let me thank you. In fact, I told you at the starting of the session, you are the people who are dedicated to learning by keeping some sort of enjoyments, at least a 1 hour break from the enjoyments. Thank you, Harsha. Yeah, so I'll be available, guys. I think, in fact, I'll share you my LinkedIn as well, or you can simply type Premchand Kasi in the LinkedIn so that I'll be available. So I'll just share it so that you can. Thank you, Moti. So I'm just sharing my profile link so that you can connect if we haven't connected on LinkedIn. Yeah, this is my profile. Yeah. So let me know. I think I'm available across all the social media platforms, Facebook, WhatsApp, Telegram, whatever. And I'll be sharing all these details once again over the mail as well. So in case if you want to, you think it, I'm not telling you just enroll as of now. Think it. If you feel that this is something I can learn through and this is something which will give me more value, definitely I would say yes, but option is yours. Yeah. And any doubts, all the time I will be available. In fact, you go to my Telegram channel and you can see the discussions that will be happening on real time. So I'll be just waiting for someone to trigger a question and I'm ready to give my views on that instantly. So any questions, guys, or we can resume our IPLs? Yeah. So anything, next 1 minute, or you can share your feedback as well. I'm open to take that. Yeah. So if nothing is there, we'll conclude and just let me know if at all any things that I can help you on course or any other aspects regarding to RPA. Yeah. So then signing off. Thank you. Yeah.